Carlson. I live at 507 Parker Avenue. I wanted to share a story and hopefully make my point. A few years ago, I met a lady. She had gone to school here over 70 years ago. She described her classroom like one of those at Blackberry Farm. She didn't speak English. Her teacher taught kids of all different grade levels, so I guess you could call that the differentiated classroom, or ELL, either one or both. She went on to finish, became a mother. She was a hardworking, dedicated woman in the community and community-minded. She ended up being a single parent, so she had a lot in common with what's going on here now. And she raised a daughter by herself who she got a college education, is now the board president here. Annette and I both have family that have been in the district for over 70 years. And I have a granddaughter here now, and I'd like her to have the same opportunities to learn and succeed as Annette's mom did, even though she speaks English and has a lot of things ahead of her already. But I think that we don't give the teachers all they need in their classrooms to do their jobs, the tools they need, or the support, or the acknowledgement. And I think they also need compensation for what they do, because there's a lot of hard work like the lady back in 70 plus years ago did. But the thing different then was they had a classroom. They just had the classroom, and that's where it was focused for all that education those kids got, and everything they received was in that classroom. And I don't think we're giving everything to our classrooms that we need to. The money's being put other places that's not prioritized in the classroom, which would be for their tools and for their compensation for doing the job well done. And I also just wanted to throw in too, as far as the taxpayer stuff here, again, I've been here all my life. People before me, my grandparents and great-grandparents, paid for my kids and me, my kids to go to school. And I think wherever you choose to live, you pay your fair share and you pay for the kids to go to school.
You need an interpreter?
Yes, I have some parents who are here who don't speak English. So if they'd like them to understand everything that's being said today.
Okay. Diane, did you come up and interpret?
Diane, did I ask you right?
Is the person going to speak at the podium, or they need to listen to what's being said? Just to make sure we don't...
Well, there's various parents who came here who don't understand English, so if I can speak and she can translate, that can go in, whatever's easier for them.
Yeah, that's good.
My name is Claudia Ruiz. My address is 755 Serendipity Drive. Dear Board of Education, I am speaking today on behalf of the wonderful staff of East Aurora, teachers, teacher assistants, parent liaisons, and secretaries.
Buenas tardes, estimada mesa directiva. Hoy estoy hablando por parte de las maestras, las asistentes de maestras, los enlaces de padres y las secretarias.
These are definitely hard times for East Aurora, but the community stands united to support its staff and students.
Estos son momentos difíciles para la comunidad, o son tiempos difíciles para las escuelas este de Aurora, pero la comunidad está junta para apoyar a todos los que trabajan para el distrito y los estudiantes.
As parents, we are concerned for the well-being of our students. We have the right to know what is going on behind closed doors and the issues that need to be addressed to better prepare our students.
Como padres, nosotros estamos preocupados por el bienestar de nuestros estudiantes. Tenemos el derecho de saber qué es lo que está sucediendo detrás de las puertas y cuáles son los temas de que se necesitan hablar públicamente para mejor entender y preparar a nuestros estudiantes.
We understand that negotiations have taken longer than what originally expected because of unresolved issues, and we want our teachers to know that as parents, we know and appreciate them.
Entendemos que las negociaciones se han tomado un poco más tiempo de lo que se toma originalmente, y todo esto tocante de temas de que no se han resolvido aún. Queremos nuestras maestras que sepan que nosotros los padres sabemos y los apreciamos a ellos. Queremos que todos los maestros del este de Aurora sepan que
We want everyone to know that East Aurora teachers work outside of contractual hours to better service the students, that they meet whenever working parents can meet. Sometimes it means texting or having conversations as late as 7, 8, or 9 p.m.
Queremos que sepan que las maestras trabajan fuera de sus horarios normales para servir mejor a nuestros estudiantes. Ellos se juntan cuando los papás se puedan juntar, dentro y fuera del horario de sus trabajos, de los horarios de las maestras. Ellos se mandan mensajes por texto o tienen conversaciones tan tarde como las 7, 8 o 9 de la noche.
Overcrowded classrooms or little staff support. Teacher assistants work in the hallways because there is no room for small groups elsewhere. They also deal with demanding test scores when sometimes the students don't have the required curriculum or support.
Hay muchas situaciones donde no tenemos mucho apoyo para las asistentes de maestras o otra gente que ayuda a los estudiantes dentro de la escuela, porque hay muchos niños dentro, muchas personas dentro de un lugar. Las maestras, las asistentes de maestras trabajan en los pasillos porque no hay lugar dentro del cuarto para sus grupos pequeños. También tienen que todos los días tocar temas tocantes, todas las calificaciones que los estudiantes tienen que son bajas, porque ellos no tienen el currículo requerido y tampoco el apoyo.
Quality of education means retaining qualified staff. And compared to other districts around East Aurora teachers make far less, while higher up administration are among the highest paid. And that gap only gets bigger.
La calidad de la educación quiere decir que debemos de mantener esa gente que trabaja para el distrito que tiene la calidad que debe de tener alguien que trabaja con los estudiantes. Comparados a otros distritos alrededor de aquí, del este de Aurora, las maestras, ellas ganan mucho menos, especialmente sobre de lo que la administración gana. Son las maestras hacen mucho menos que las maestras que están en los distritos cerca de nosotros, mientras la administración son unos de los mejores pagados aquí en este distrito y alrededor. Y eso mantiene que haya un discurso muy diferente entre lo que ganan las maestras y lo que ganan los administradores.
These are some of the concerns that we have. As parents, we don't want our teachers to go on strike because ultimately this decision will hurt our students. We are in favor of our teachers. We want our teachers to be valued and we want their rights to be heard.
Estas son algunas de las preocupaciones que nosotros tenemos. Como papás, nosotros no queremos que nuestras maestras se vayan a la huelga, porque últimamente el ultimato es que esa decisión va a afectar y dañar a nuestros estudiantes, a nuestros hijos. Estamos en el favor de las maestras. Queremos que nuestras maestras que tengan valor, que las valúen a todas nuestras maestras y que se escuchen sus derechos.
We are sure these rights have been earned. As parents, we are willing to stand behind them and we will do whatever is needed for those rights to be respected.
Estamos seguros, nosotros los padres, que los maestros, ellos se han ganado estos derechos. Como padres estamos dispuestos a estar apoyando a los maestros y haremos lo que sea necesario para que ellos tengan estas necesidades, estos derechos de que ellos se han ganado y que todos los escuchen y sean respetados.
I am the voice of thousands of parents, united, willing to do whatever it takes for all East Aurora staff to feel supported.
Yo soy la voz de miles de padres que están unidos para apoyar a lo que sea necesario para que nuestros maestros estén unidos y que valoricemos a todos los maestros de este distrito.
Megan Callahan, 741 Lafayette Street here in Aurora. I'm speaking on behalf of a colleague tonight who could not be here. Dear Board of Education, I'm not here today to ask for a raise or to decline one. I feel that the people entrusted to do their job will come to the right decision. I'm here today to speak about me and my job. I want you to know that I wasn't always a teacher. I used to work in the corporate world, and like many of you, I used to think, why do teachers complain so much? After all, they don't work summers. They have a lot of days off and they get to leave at 3 p.m. Well, I'm on the other side of things now and I can speak to my corporate self. I worked in sales for over 8 years. I had my own office, secretary, and an income of $53,000 in 2008. The corporate me had time to go get coffee, take a bathroom break anytime I wanted, or meet a friend for lunch. If I needed supplies, I'd ask the secretary to order the items I needed. If I was sick, I could work from home or reschedule for the next day. I did have to work late at times. I did have demands to fulfill, quotas to meet, and upset customers to deal with. I've now been in the district for 6 years. My income is $44,000. I have an ESL endorsement and I'm halfway through my master's. My day may or may not start without coffee or a bathroom break, but these aren't my day-to-day issues I face. I have 22 students. One is a newcomer from Mexico, and he cannot read or write in English. 3 read at kindergarten level. 1 is a selective mute. 1 has a heart condition, and 5 read at grade level. I'm responsible for their well-being and academic growth for 22 of them, day in and day out. During my prep time, I have to work on lessons, grade papers, find a working copier, call parents. But if our specials teachers aren't there and there's no sub, then all of these things are put on hold. During lunch, I check my mail, review my next subject, fill out paperwork, heat up my lunch, and finally go to the bathroom. But I'm already behind, so maybe I'll just eat my lunch cold. But if I have another grade level teacher who is absent and no sub took her spot, I have extra kids, so I really have to go make copies. I miss some of my corporate life days. I miss adult conversations, going out to lunch, and definitely the paycheck. But even if my paycheck is less, I've never been happier. Kids make you feel special. They forgive your mistakes and they love you genuinely. My reward is not a bonus check for meeting quotas anymore. Actually, my reward now is when my own children ask me, Mom, what kids are you talking about? Your school kids or us? Or when I get that wonderful piece of art with the words, you're the best teacher. So while the administration figures out what's best, I'll continue to plan lessons, review data, find material, and make them feel like they're the best bosses I've ever had, because after all, they are.
Hi, how's everybody doing today? Good. I pretty much just came here because I am speaking on behalf of what a student has felt, what I have felt personally as a student as well. Like they said, my name is Mila Rivera. I am a senior here at East Aurora. And you might be wondering, like, why would a senior care about what's going on? It's their last year. When in reality, this is something that's affected me a lot in the past couple weeks, actually. I paid a lot of attention to this, and I actually am very informed with the topic. And I know a lot of both sides that's going on within the teachers and with, of course, the board and administration. So I'm just here to like give pretty much what I've been feeling. It's been brought up to me many times by different bodies of people, students, teachers, even people in the community, how they feel about the district by itself. And there's a lot of negatives and there's a lot of positives as well. I like to focus on positive things, and I like to focus on how we as a student body and we as a community at this school, I do not see us as failures. I see us as people who have overcome a lot of things, and also we've developed ourselves as people through not only our education here, but also thanks to the teachers. Of course, I am on their side 100%, because I feel like without the educators that we have here, we wouldn't have many of the things that we do. There are teachers that work here day in and day out. They put everything they can into what the students have and what they pretty much need for their education. So that's why I try to stay away from the negatives of people saying the teachers don't deserve this, or they're being selfish about this, or pretty much they're not helping us do what we need. In reality, we have teachers like, just to name a few, Mr. Wheeler, Mr. Liska, Mr. Parker, Miss Judas. We have them all out there, and they're just here constantly running different, like multiple clubs. Like for Mr. Parker, he runs more than one club, and he's still trying to bring in new classes, trying to teach kids more things than normal. And I just think that's really awesome as a teacher. We also have the whole thing going on where we bring in new teachers every couple of years. And what did that do with like the bonds that the students have created with their teachers? Like, I care so much about those bonds. We come here every day and we expect to have somebody who could educate us and be there for us as well. Like, I honestly see this place as a second home for me. All the teachers here, all the staff, the student bodies, pretty much, it's just a second home for me. I've been involved in many clubs, many activities, many groups, like all my 4 years here. So it's just, to see like this happening and for it to be like a thing, oh yeah, strike is almost there. Nobody wants to see that happen. I'm all for, let's push this in a positive way. And I already see that happening tonight. Thanks to all you guys for coming out, all the families, all the students, all you guys coming out today in support of everybody, either both sides. I'm not too sure which side you're on, but I'm totally for all you guys being here. Thank you guys so much for just coming out and listening.
Your time is up.
All right, thank you so much.
I know you guys are going to get sick of me eventually. My name is Melinda Thomas. I live at 256 Calkins in Sugar Grove. And I actually wasn't going to speak tonight, or was going to get up and say, have a wonderful break. I know you guys are working hard, and I'm hoping things are going well. And then we got this letter last week from our superintendent, and it made me really angry. Let me tell you something about this. Let me tell you something about myself. I am a glass half full person. I want to believe that administration is negotiating in good faith. But when a letter goes out like this, it makes me realize that I am naive. When you hear that teachers and staff feel disrespected and you wonder why, this letter is Exhibit A. Here's why. Number one, the letter only mentions salary as a sticking point. There are numerous issues: timeliness of stipends, responsibilities of staff, discipline policy, evaluations, etc. For many people, salary is actually secondary, yet it's the only one mentioned. Number two, the letter states, and I quote, "Despite the scale back, the district has offered a salary package that exceeds not only cost of living changes, but exceeds the contract settlements for many of our neighboring districts. This is disingenuous and misleading. Though the percentage may be greater than some other districts, the fact is that East Aurora teachers make dramatically less than other nearby districts, and all staff, office personnel, support staff, and teachers are asked to do far more than many other districts." I appreciate it, but I've only got 3 minutes. Number three, anyone in education knows that the worst way to get information out to parents is to send it home with students, because it stays in their folders. But rather than mailing this letter home, administration required teachers to distribute a letter presenting only one side of an argument that they know we do not agree with and do not support. The teachers got the message though. If that's not disrespect, I don't know what is. One of my former colleagues left this district a couple of years ago for another one. And when I spoke to him after a year of teaching in that district, he mentioned that his administration publicly stated, our job is to make the teacher's job easier. Generally speaking, I and my colleagues have never felt that way from district administration. Many have given up and moved on. I don't want to. Instead, I will keep speaking at the board meetings, sharing staff concerns. At heart, I'm still a glass half full person, and I'm hoping that even if administration doesn't respect or listen to us, hopefully the board will. Thank you.
I'm so happy you knew how to pronounce my name.
Very close to mine.
My name is Aimette Davila Snyder, and I live at 1885 Garfield Avenue in Aurora, Illinois. I was recruited 16 years ago in Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico, to come here as a bilingual teacher. On the first day I was employed of August 11th, 2000, that was the first day of our training, I met my best friend, Sally, who is a kindergarten teacher at Brady. I met my husband years later here in the district. Kirsten can vouch for me, she knows me. Juana is not here. Juana and her family attended my wedding. I have other parents that came to my wedding. We have summer barbecues. We have relationships with all these people. And today I had a list, a plethora of things that I wanted to talk about, but I had just written notes. I didn't write anything. I decided on my way here that I was gonna speak because it's 10 days to 2016, and I'm a believer that you need to nip things in the bud, and I need to put this to rest. At least my mind needs to. I want to talk to those people who say that as a teacher I'm failing my students. I wake up at 4 in the morning, and I'm at school at 6:30 in the morning. Second teacher to get there after Mr. Jolly gets there at Oak Park. I'm usually in bed by 7:30. I have to change that. I'm in the middle of my dissertation because I do have a master's, a 75, and I'm in the middle of my dissertation for my doctorate in curriculum and education. So I do know about our curriculum problems, but I choose to stay in the classroom. Today with my sister-in-law, and I'm not here to toot my own horn, but I need to, those people, from Stonegate or wherever it is that we got the message a few weeks ago where we were failures. We were delivering over $400 today of food and gifts to a student in my class. My brother donated it. He can afford it. And they needed it. They lived 9 people to a trailer in a trailer park here in Aurora. You know why? They might not have the possibility. They don't have the white privilege. They're Mexicans. And they're poor. And they have that against them already from the time that they're born. Because those of you, if we've read research out there, there are babies that are Hispanic that are born that are already 5 years behind that little white baby next to them in the nursery at the hospital, in education and in economics. We don't have that. I bust my butt. I was told I can't curse, and I'm a sailor. And I work very hard. And we can, let's not be hypocrites. You guys have beautiful homes in a really cheap part of Aurora where it was far enough from where the big diversity is, but you got cheap taxes for it. So now, you know what? People pay taxes for me. When I was growing up, I have no children. I will never have children. My children are in my classroom, and I pay my taxes happily for the West Side kids. If I could do it for here, I would, but I don't live here. And I'm upset that I think I am a success as a Hispanic girl who grew up, and I know the bell's ringing. I grew up in a little town. I was an immigrant from another country, and we moved to Florida. And you know what? I did my best, and I think I am doing my best, and I will continue. And I'll come back and talk about park and all those other issues, because I just can't keep on my show. Anyway, thank you very much.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Ronaldo Rodriguez, also known as Officer Ray Rodriguez from the Aurora Police Department. I worked for the Aurora Police Department for 14 years. And I understand what's going on with these teachers. I understand what's going on with the students. I sat in your lunchroom for 4 years, taking my lunch break in uniform, talking to your students. Actually interviewing them. I want to know what's going on in the streets. I want to know why they're missing school, why they don't want to go to school. They weren't going to lie to me, and I told them the truth. I sat there and talked. My table was the busiest table. Kids were standing. I answered their questions, domestic, at home. A lot of them, the majority of them said, yeah, I got dad and mom at home, but dad's sitting out in the front yard with his friends drinking. Mom's working 2 jobs, okay? So what do? They got no direction. The only direction they can get is from the teachers, because their parents are working hard. Some of them are just drunk or high on drugs. That's because it's hard for them out there, all right? Now, I'm going to tell you something that nobody knows. The police don't want you to know, the city don't know. That's why I don't want to work with the police department, okay? There was never a gang war in Aurora. When we had that highest homicide rate, there was no gang war, okay? There is the most dangerous gang in Aurora. It's not the Latin Kings, it's not the Deuces, it's not the Vice Lords, it's none of that. It's a gang that's been in Aurora since the early 50s, when a lot of the Hispanics from Texas were moving up here for the jobs, Caterpillar, Austin Western, All Steel, Barber Green, all of those, all right? They used to burn crosses in the front yards, okay? They even had a rally downtown in front of Paramount. I remember standing next to a guy talking to his wrist. I wonder what the hell he was. I asked who he was. He was the FBI. They were taking pictures and getting information. Well, they called themselves the Klan. I remember riding my bike and said KKK on the bridge and some of the houses and this and that, similar to what the gangs are doing now. But they weren't here. So they were the first gang here. When I used to talk in the schools, I used to bring that up because I knew for a fact that they were there. And they tried to shut me up, and I told them, no, I'm not lying, you know? And I'll tell you who they were. It was the Aurora police officers, and it was firemen at that time, okay? When they did the rally, they recruited Klan members from Murfreesboro to come up here, and the reason for they did doing that was because they wanted part of that crime bill money, okay, that the president offers, all right? They also wanted overtime, okay? The only way you can get money from the crime bill is if you do have a drug problem, if you do have a gang problem. We didn't have either. But they wanted that money. They wanted to build their patrol. They want more cars, new cars. They want more officers. So what they did the rally because they knew what was going to happen. The Kings from Chicago were going to come down here and start recruiting. They were going to use that as an excuse. Hey, you got to protect yourself. These white boys are going to kill you. They're going to lynch you. They're already burning crosses and everything like that. All right, and it worked. All the parents started going to the mayor, I think it was Hill at that time, and to the chief of police. And they said, well, we don't got a gang problem.
Your time is up.
All right. Thank you.
Alicia Pauley, 2040 Heather Road, Geneva, Illinois. Well, like another speaker, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to speak of. I have a lot of different options. I guess the first thing that I would like to say is that you can call me a failure all day long. But when you call the school a failure, you call 3,800 students a failure too, and you need to stop it. These are kids. They're kids. You're calling them failures. Stop it. And don't put them in the middle. Don't have them deliver letters that they read and they look at me and they don't understand because they're kids. Don't put the kids in the middle. It's not their responsibility.
We are serious. We are so very serious. I've been here 16 years. I'm never leaving. We are so serious.
Alan Scott, 5812 Walnut Avenue, Downers Grove. Why should people have to pay school tax if they don't have children, or they have children who have already grown up and gone through the system? At many of the board meetings, we have had the organized presence of individuals speaking out against having to financially support the community through taxes. Now, there are many socially conscious, supportive, and community-minded residents out there, but these comments are directed towards those who have been attacking teachers and staff and saying that our children don't deserve resources. Why should you help children? You benefit from the positive externalities of an educated society, a community with a trained workforce, less unemployment, class mobility, citizens who revitalize the community with their entrepreneurialism, their wage-earned money spent in local businesses, their art, their spirit, their vitality. This country would not be what it is today without people coming together, helping each other, not being selfish, and working towards building something. There's also the immediate benefit of having something for kids to do all day. If there were no public education, the children would be loosed onto the streets, crawling over your fences. But surely you went to school yourself, or did you only attend private school? Should we only have private school where only those who can pay can attend? Shouldn't we be more concerned about tax money being wasted on bureaucracy, redundancy, and inefficiency? Maybe this should be a focus of concern in social action. It's my understanding that a mere fraction of the taxes goes towards the educational budget, something like 20%, when in other districts the number is more like 90%. Of course, you also will get your money back when other people's kids are paying for your Social Security and Medicare. Unless they get together and organize and say that they should stop paying their hard-earned tax money into social programs that benefit other people who aren't doing hard, productive labor. Are there other government services you pay into that you also protest, such as the National Park System, public roads you'll never drive on, libraries? Now let's be clear, we recognize that the federal government has failed our students, as has the state of Illinois. In our contract negotiations, the bulk of what we are asking for has nothing to do with money. But the fact remains that our schools are underfunded and our teacher staff grossly undercompensated. If you are here to support our children, we stand with you. If you are here to fight bureaucracy, redundancy, and inefficiency, we stand with you. If you are here to find solutions, we stand with you. Poverty must not be a bar to learning, and learning must offer an escape from poverty. President Lyndon Johnson.